Hi guys. I wasn't sure about doing this video. I've been nervous about it, but I've been on television talking about this sort of stuff. Been on the ABC, giving interviews for magazines and stuff. But I am a disabled man. I have a disability. On the last day of 2013, and it's middle of November 2019 now, I was diagnosed with a disease called multiple sclerosis, MS. Go look it up. Give you some time. Now, MS is a disease where something happens and your immune system interprets your spinal cord and your brain as an invader. So it will attack it, which does a small amount of damage, but what does a lot of damage is the brain will swell in your head, and that will damage the grey matter. So you sort of your controllable functions. So your body, your arms and your legs and your lips and your head and your eyes and your genitals and your bum and your toes and all that sort of stuff. Things that you have any kind of control over, but usually your breathing and your heartbeat and stuff like that, unless you have absurdly obscure and dangerous kinds of strange to the disease, that's not going to happen. Now, I'm not talking about this because I don't like any of that, oh, you're so brave. It's just useful to talk about. And I like information. So let's talk about gaming with a disability. Now, for me, there's a few things that have happened. Primarily, I walk with a cane almost nearly every day. Sometimes I have better days than others. So I limp quite badly. Got damage in my right. Actually, I don't have any damage anywhere except in my brain and spine. So when I say that, just understand. I have a sore, very, very sore, very, very painful right knee. My left foot spasms quite badly. You should see the toes. They go every which way and direction. It's freakish. Very, very painful. There is some urination problems in that I have to go a fair amount. So that's, embarrassing and can be surprisingly painful. I don't really want to talk about that, but just understand. Left hand, very little dexterity. I have to do all these weird exercises for it. See that? See, yeah, that's not faking or anything. It's just how it is. With the optical neuritis, and it was going very, very badly. I was having a lot of troubles just finding the right medication because there was loads of side effects and all the rest of it. And then I was getting injections, 3 times a week injections, and they were not fun at all. And then a few months ago, I went on to chemotherapy, which so far, thumbs up, has been really, really good. Now, it's affected me. It's had some side effects. You'll see that my beard looks a bit fuzzy and my hair has gone a bit weird. You can't really see it, but it has this like weird little patches now in it. But also my face has been swollen from a lot of medications over the last few years, and hopefully that will now will no longer look like the man in the moon. And it's okay. It's manageable. It's dealable. I have problems with work. I have problems with a lot of stuff. You will often sometimes see me or hear me rather go, as I'll be talking and I'll go, well, the gun, or I'll just not say things, and it's just because my tongue is having a bit of an MS day. It's just one of those things where just occasionally you say something and it really doesn't come out. I don't like to eat in front of people either because drop you're eating and just mish food. It's like you're a very stupid, very small child who can't eat. It's very embarrassing, especially on a date. So that's MS for you, and that's okay. I'm not. There's worse than me in the world. I do have some problems with work and a steady income stream, so but that's. I'm okay. I'm still here. I still get around. I still dress myself. I still pay my bills. So far, so good. Maybe it'll all go wrong in the future, but so far, I'm doing okay. Finally losing a bit of weight, building up my endurance. I got a dog, which has really, really helped with getting out and doing daily exercise. But what I want to talk about here is gaming with a disability. It can be rough. It can be rough. Now, there's obviously loads and loads of disabilities. Maybe you have one. Maybe you've got friends with one. Maybe you've got a family member with one. Maybe you'll know. But if you don't, there's a whole sort of host of invisible problems that come along with it. If you're in a wheelchair or something, my sort of current goal is to stay out of a wheelchair for as long as humanly possible. But if you've got a wheelchair or something like that, getting in and out of houses is a problem. Getting a cab or a ride, you can't really catch a bus or a train or whatever. You're going to have people to come and get you, or you're going to have to pay for fairly expensive. Actually, there, you see that? That's chemo. That's like my weird eyebrow hole. Hoping that closes up soon. Anyway, that was a weird day when all the eyebrow hair fell out. Anyway, so there's expenses there. So you're kind of like, if you commit to a group, you want to commit, you want to at least try to be there for every single session. Sometimes you just can't. Sometimes you don't have the money, because when you're disabled, that costs money. Maybe you can't work. Maybe you just can't work a good enough job. Maybe you just don't know anyone who's anywhere nearby you, and getting someone to come and pick you up just isn't going to happen. Maybe this is actually a problem for me. If I'm having a bad day, I'm essentially having a whole bunch of cramps with MS, at least. All the, your brain is set up in like pathways that cross over like a train system, and occasionally, when something gets taken out, the entire network is broken, and that tends to manifest for MS as cramps, as literally the muscles don't know what to do, and then they just cramp up. It's awful. It's incredibly painful, and I hate it. And so I have to take a lot of drugs, marijuana drugs, to deal with it. I take a lot of ibuprofen and all that sort of stuff. And the end result of all that is that something outside my window, and it's quite late at night, so that's exciting. And the end result of that is that sometimes you just feel bloody terrible. You just really feel awful. Just, when you got a flu and your muscles are tense and that for days on end on a bad day. And that just affects your endurance. It affects your patience. You become irritable, short-tempered. It sucks. Another thing on top of the exhaustion is that for me, because there was a little bit of brain damage, I've become quite dyscalculic. I find rolling a dice or looking at a number or anything like that, or trying to quickly add up, it just goes. It's so frustrating. It's hard to describe. 3 plus 3 is 6 plus 3 is 7. No, 9. 9. It's 9, isn't it? So that happens. Or you see a number and you say it, and it's not what you said. Or it's not what you saw, rather. So frustrations when you're gaming, and especially, playing game or Warhams or whatever, and you roll your 10d6 and you're looking for what's over 5, and you pull out 7, you're like, yeah, good roll. And then the guy across the field goes, what are you doing? That's not what's happening. And you look like a cheat, and then you look embarrassed, and it's just a problem. And there's loads of other stuff that come with it. So that's MS. That's, with a disability. Maybe you've got something along the lines. I mean, I know that people with mental health issues, it can become, anxiety. You get the social anxiety of, oh my God, I said something a little bit weird to that guy last session, and now, I can't go, I'm going to have to quit the game, that depression where you're just like, oh, God, no, don't worry about it. I don't want to go. I don't. So you don't want to go because maybe you have to go to the bathroom 4 or 5 times, which is going to be weird in people's houses, especially if you don't know them very well. Or maybe you've rented a scout hall or something, or a game shop room, and you're going to have to go to some gross public bathroom, and no one wants that. And just, there's just loads and loads of stuff that can go wrong. So my suggestions are about how to handle both being disabled and gaming and being a gaming with disabled people. First of all, it's just a hobby. Don't freak out about it. Don't worry about it. If you can't make a session, it's not the end of anyone's world. The most you're going to get is some dude is going to be like a bit grumpy at you for a while. Or they're going to say, look, it's not really working out. There's only so many spaces at the game table. Can we swap you out? Or would you like to come in at and if that does happen, if people do that to you, well, that's a bit shit and they shouldn't do that, but that's just how it goes. So try not to take it personally, or try and negotiate with them. Try and say, look, obviously I can't commit like I would like to commit. What can I do? What can I play an NPC? Can you bring me in? And again, you might not even be able to commit, but you can try. Or, just come in at Skype. See if anyone will just open up their laptop and let you Skype, and you can contribute in that way. I've never done that, but I've always thought that would be a good thing to do. Try and hold things at your house if you can, so that it's your bathroom, it's your medication is right there, it's your, where all the sharp corners are, that maybe, if you have a fall, it's not going to be so terrible because you've padded things out. It's your service dog who's not going to be freaked out with it, at someone else's house. It's your, your partner or spouse or friend or mum or whatever is there to help you specifically. If you can, it doesn't always work like that, but if you can, try to be a host. Also, that way, if you're hosting, you don't have to bring snacks, so free meal. There are things that you can do while disabled to make your life easier on yourself. And honestly, one of the best things you can do is just don't stress too much, because for me at least, if I start stressing one way, oh my god, I'm staying on my shirt, that's embarrassing. So one way that things can get worse very, very quickly is stressing out about it. If you're waking up in the morning going like, oh no, I've got to go to the game, don't do it. Now, what's it like to game with disabled people? I've done it. Usually most people are good. Most people are willing to help and willing to accommodate. Dudes are going to go half an hour out of their way to pick you up in the car and get you back home. People will, if you've got eating requirements, most people will be happy to accommodate you if there's certain stuff that you can't eat or must eat or just can't stand to be around. Most people will be good. They'll find you a place at the table. If you're in a wheelchair or you're walking with the crutches or something like that, they'll try and help you out. Try not to be too demanding if you can, because, just speaking as a disabled person, you can put people out. It can be hard to look after you. And it's not their job, and they have, they have the decency should be a factor in looking after you and being a good dude. But there's no obligation, and you shouldn't feel that they're being horrifically ableist or something if they can't or won't help you out. Sometimes it's just a pain, and sometimes you're going to be a pain. That is what is being disabled. That's part and parcel of it. And learning to negotiate around that is a challenge that will not end anytime soon. But if you are, helping out with people, do make an effort. Go slow with them. If they're having troubles hearing you or seeing you, or something's emotionally affecting them, you can just... Is it going to cost you so much for you to speak up louder, or for you to not put that scene in the game, or for you to, not just... Is it going to be that hard for you not to? You've got this disabled person. You made a decision. I'm going to include them in the game. I want them in my game. Do it. Just do it. Just a little bit of patience won't help. And just, again, speaking as a person who's been helped out by friends and abandoned by friends, a little bit of patience and a little bit of understanding, it makes you as a disabled person just feel included. It makes you feel better. It makes you feel better about yourself. And hopefully, there's a reward for the person who does it. Is that, okay, well, I'm the kind of person who helps out a sick friend. I'm the kind of person who doesn't make things worse for a person who's already got it pretty bad. So those are things you can bring into your gaming campaign as well. Just, accommodating them physically, accommodating them mentally, helping them out, get to and from the table, get to and from the bathroom if you can. You don't have to change them or anything, but, just a helping hand on the elbow can be worth a lot. Trying to accommodate, if you can, their times. Some people might have mandated bus timetables or something that they must stick to. There's loads of stuff, and talk to that person about them. Just ask. Most disabled people just want to get on with the game, right? They're not there to, they're not in group therapy. They want to punch an orc in the face, bang. They don't want to, get into it. They're there. They want to have fun. They want to contribute to the group. They want a story, and especially if you're disabled, it's really, really nice to not be on that cane for that amount of time. It's nice to have a place where you can just emphatically pretend it's being something else in a way that's therapeutic and has value and has a narrative that's not the narrative of your life. That's what I find. That's what's been useful for me. Hopefully it will be useful for you. And what it means for this channel is that sometimes I'm going to get things wrong. I find editing to be quite difficult just because my hands don't move very fast. You feel me? Not be able to type very well sometimes. Believe me, no matter how bad it might seem to you, it's way worse to me, man. I can't really commit to a regular 2-3 times a week, even once a week, because I don't know. Am I going to be in hospital? Am I going to be back on chemo? Am I just going to be having such a bad day? Every now and again, I get a spasm in my face right there, and it looks terrible. I look like a weird dude. I don't want to be on camera. I already have enough problems with my weird, now mushy head on camera, so all these things are issues for me and for us and for everybody else who's disabled. But I just want to say that especially for those of you who do help out your disabled mates and who do make an effort to just, you don't have to be, like a Noah's Ark. You don't have to be Mother Teresa welcoming all the sick people into your house. No one wants that. Yeah. But the people who do make an effort to be understanding and to be kind and to be a little bit inclusive, you're going to help someone out a whole lot. And don't you want that? Also, disabled people, sometimes they've got nothing to do all day. So, they're pretty useful GMs. If you want to be DM'd by a disabled person, especially one who's not working, they have some time. So, they're probably poor though, so maybe just make sure that you're buying their, you're chipping in for their pizza if you can. And, in return, you will feel a smug imitation of Christ with your amazing goodness. And B, you'll actually have a player who has different experiences from you, who's going to bring that to the characterization, who's going to bring that to the DMing. So honestly, it's a win-win situation. This is the first video I've ever written without notes. I find it quite hard to think on the fly. I didn't used to, but now, brain damage. So I hope it was okay. I hope everything was useful. I hope this was illuminating. It's just a straight up just talk. You and me. No dramas about it. We don't have to ever talk about it. We don't have to have it if we have... That was it. That was MS. We don't ever have to have a "you're so brave" talk, because I'm uncomfortable with that. But anyway, be cool. I'm Christian D. Reed. This is Crowland Publishing. The liking and the sharing and the subscribing and all that business. I'll see you next time.